Hey party people, I'm Kelly.
And I'm Bean.
And we're Kelly Beans Bees. We're first-time beekeepers here in Central Virginia, and today we are diving into
the fish food hive.
I wanted to show you guys the front here. I don't know if you can hear them, but they are like, is it humming? I don't know.
Buzzing, probably.
Buzzing. They are loud. We can hear them. So, if you have made it this far, oh man. This one is booming. I think the two on the ends are booming in the middle. Bean said was doing well, but maybe not as well. We'll have to see on our inspection.
They still look to be doing okay, at least from the outside. We haven't gotten into any of these yet. This is our first one today.
Yeah.
But yes, from the outside, just from looking at the landing boards, they look to be healthy. Nothing that would concern me, really, from a first glance.
So if you've been following along with us, this is after honey extraction. It's the beginning of September. You might not be seeing this in real time.
Well,
we're
they
behind.
Won't. This video is not coming out today.
Right, yeah. We are behind time. So you have a beautiful butterfly on your hood, buddy.
Wonderful.
I'm going to get closer to it. Oh, just kidding, it flew away.
I'm crunching small hive beetles right now, so you just keep telling the people about things, and I'm going to keep on doing this for a little bit.
Okay, so anyway, we always post a little bit behind, and I've been behind anyway. But what are things that we should be seeing like in September in the hive?
So this time of year...
That looks nasty.
Well, they've started to
look at the
put
bottom.
propolis
No, I
on
meant
it
the bottom of the box where it came out of.
Huh, down here?
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got propolis all through here.
Gross. It's kind of like a glue,
but that's okay.
Binding it together.
I could have taken this off, but I was lazy, but it's okay. It's not going to hurt. We did bring some sugar syrup to add to these bees. So Kelly asked the question of, this time of year, what are we really here doing? What are we looking for? What are we trying to figure out?
Yeah.
So
I mean, clearly we need to clear out the jungle some, cause
we brought the weed eater.
It looks a little rough, but
we will be doing that for sure. But anyway, so through the rest of the year, we have pretty much been going through trying to make sure that these bees did not swarm. They didn't build up so strong and run out of room to store things and then just leave because they didn't have anywhere else to put it. So that's what we've been doing through most of the year. We've been trying to make sure they've got enough space. We're giving them extra boxes if they need it. All kinds of things like that. Checking to see how much they've stored away, so seeing if we could take honey potentially. A lot of things like that. Well, this time of year, we're kind of done with all that. The chance for swarming is still there. It's not that it's gone. We're not going to say that. But the chance of swarming is a lot less. Just because there's not as many resources out in the environment this time of year, where we live at least. Like goldenrod started blooming. There are a couple of sunflower fields that are pretty close, so the bees could potentially get some things off of those. Some sunflowers you can get some nectar off of. Some of them are good for pollens, things like that. Just depends on the type of sunflower. But you know, there's not a ton really that's going on.
Yeah.
So
we're just
this
checking,
time of year,
maintaining.
Right. We're just going in, we're making sure that they look healthy, and we're trying to prepare them for winter. So we want to see how much they've got stored. And if they don't have a ton stored, then we need to make sure that we can get resources into these hives before the end of the year. Because that's the main goal now. Make sure these bees do not die before winter or during winter.
Yeah. So they cost a lot. And a lot of time and effort.
Yes. There are quite a few small hive beetles in these traps, so they've been doing something.
Yeah, so the last time we came, we did not record.
No.
And so these little things that are sticking up, that you're probably like, what is that? They are to treat for varroa mites.
So they are apivar strips. That is the name of the treatment. And literally they're just a little strip that you put in there for, I think it's like 40-some to 50-some days.
We don't remember how many days.
I kept the packaging, so I'll be able to...
Starting to draw out on this side.
Yeah, that's what I got over here. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, we kept the packaging, so we need to look back at it. It's only been a
It's
month
only
at
been a
this
month,
point.
yeah. So we know it has to stay in longer.
Yes. So I wasn't super worried about figuring out exactly how long it needed to stay in this time when we came out, because I know it's going to have to stay in. But hopefully, leaving these strips in here for that long, the not small hive beetles, the varroa mites will end up getting this stuff on it just as the bees move around, and it will kill them. And then that'll bring down our mite population a lot.
Because we took a mite check and it was terrible.
Yeah, it was. We took one on this hive, and I think we had 1 or 2 mites.
Yeah.
Then we took one on this hive, and we had 30 mites.
Yeah, it was terrible.
1 or 2 is where you're like looking pretty good. 30, not so much. So we jumped right on it. We said if we've got that many mites, we 100% have to treat. Like there's nothing we can do to get around that. So we went ahead and dropped the treatments in, and now we're waiting, and we're going to hope for the best. So I'm just going to leave those frames alone that the treatments are in and kind of look in here and see. I can see a lot of honey down in here.
Is there a way for us to see too?
Potentially. You can just try to poke in there.
Oh yeah, I see.
So right there you can see a bunch of capped honey up here. Then on this side, it looks like they've started to draw it out, but they haven't done a ton, kind of like what this frame looked like.
Oh, okay.
And probably something similar in between here.
Yeah.
Between having a bunch of honey and being drawn out.
Yeah.
So, let's dive in and see what we've got.
Rude.
So, I've got larvae. I have honey all around the top. I've got nectar in some of these cells.
We want to make sure there are no queen cells or cups too, right?
I wouldn't think that there would be, but we will check for that, yes.
Hey, that's how we got into this situation, man. 3 hives.
Hey, that's a good thing, though.
I know.
Oh, there we go. A lot of pollen all packed through here. Which this time of year, the bees are going to be... There's a queen cup there, but...
You said that that wasn't what we were needing.
Well, there's nothing in the queen cup.
You want me to crunch it?
Yeah, we'll still crunch it.
Okay, hold on, guys. I gotta find my tools in the bucket.
Yeah.
Sorry if it was a little twisty-turny.
So, yeah.
Where is it here?
Yeah, right there. The bees will practice making queen cups, so that's probably nothing to worry about.
I didn't even get that on the camera.
That's okay.
Me crunching it.
So it's probably nothing to worry about, but I've got eggs through here. I've got larvae. I've got everything I need. So I know that the queen is here. I can see the eggs right in here.
Can we see them or just you?
You may be able to, but it's kind of hard with this drawn foundation. This wire.
Yeah, I don't know if I can see.
Yeah. It's just wire supported. So the bees have drawn all of this. I think this is one of the original frames that we
from
had.
the man.
So yeah, the bees had drawn that, so it's kind of hard to see the eggs in there, but I was able to see them, so we know that there is a queen in here. She is laying eggs. She has been here within the last 3 days. Because of that, we know we don't need a new queen, especially this time of year. Because the thing is, at this time of year, the bees should be kind of dialing back a little bit. They shouldn't be creating as much brood. The queen shouldn't be laying as much eggs. They should be trying to get as many resources as they can. Can't talk today, apparently.
Yeah.
Getting as many resources as they can, bringing them back to the hive and storing them away for the winter. They don't want to continue to build the population because they're going to get to a point where they just can't support it anymore. Where the stuff that's being brought in, the nectar and the pollen, isn't enough to support the bees that they're producing, the new bees.
Yeah.
Because it's just not going to be in the environment. It's going to be winter kind of soon. And when that happens, they're not going to be bringing in anything. So they should be dialing it back a little bit, but they've got a really strong foraging population now. So they can take advantage of that to get a lot of resources and keep the brood low.
Okay.
So we don't want them to create queen cells, because if they do create queen cells and they try to swarm, and they're successful and they do leave, that means that we have to hope that we can get a new queen in this hive
Before the
really
winter.
soon.
Yeah.
And the queen, once the egg is laid in the cell, will take 16 days to emerge, then can take another 2 weeks to get mated, and then can take a little bit longer than that to start laying eggs. And by that time, you're now looking at another 21 days before those eggs will hatch into new worker bees. And then those are just nurse bees. They won't leave the hive. They just live in here and take care of the young. So they're not even foragers yet. So you end up with this big lull where you aren't laying eggs, you aren't getting new bees. And right before winter, that can be pretty devastating on a colony.
Yeah.
So,
all right, buddy.
We want to avoid that.
We're about already 10.5 minutes in.
10.5 minutes?
Yeah, so I don't know, and leaves from the tree behind me keep hitting me in the head. I don't know if you want to say, like, that's a lot of brood.
That's a full frame of brood.
I don't know if you want to say, like, what you're looking for through here, if we'll just bring them back if we see something else, or if we want to bring them back in another vid, or...
We may as well bring them back in another video, because, you know, at this point, it may just be more of the same. But that's kind of why you guys are here, right? Because this is interesting. It's cool.
I was saying you might learn something new.
Yeah. And, you know, as I just yap on about what we're doing, it's kind of interesting. I just think of things and start talking about them sometimes.
Perfect.
So, yeah, this is kind of, this has been the video of what are we doing this time of year? What are we looking for? How are things going?
Yeah.
So, you know, I think we've touched on a lot of that, and maybe we'll touch on some more in the next video.
Okay, perfect. We'll bring you back for the rest of the inspection of the fish food hive, but thanks for being here, and we will see you guys soon.
Bees out.
Bees out, y'all.